friends, and welcome to today's episode of Piano TV. I am Allysia, your host, and today I wanted to do something that was just pretty informal. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you about something that I'm working on. I am going to be taking my drum roll. That was a bad drum roll. I'm not a drummer. I'm married to one, I'm just not one. I'm going to be taking my grade 10 exam again. So for those of you who have been following this channel for some amount of time, you know that I have already done my grade 10, and I've talked about it because I did not get a very good mark. So I did kind of like a post-mortem. I went through it and talked about why I think I got a bad mark, basically, and maybe just as a little bit of a shameful cautionary tale to those of you who are working on your, I don't know, it doesn't even have to be working on your higher levels, just any grade of music. We all make mistakes and fail and do poorly sometimes, so it's nice to, I don't know, look at our mistakes and try to fix them. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I feel like I've gotten over the bitter disappointments of my failure, and I'm going to try doing this exam again. Darn it. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to share with you, I don't know, it's going to be kind of spontaneous. I don't have this pre-planned, but I'm going to share with you the pieces that I'm going to be working on. The nice thing about this is I don't actually have to redo my entire grade 10, because when you do a piano exam, there's a few different components. You have your repertoire pieces, but then you also have things like technique and studies and ear training, sight reading, that kind of stuff. Now, I did a good enough job on the technique, sight, ear, and studies. I don't need to redo that. You can actually split, when the tests get bigger like this, you can actually split them in half. So all I need to do is the repertoire stuff. So I have to do 5 pieces. I prepare 5 pieces, and my goal is to have it prepared for an exam in January of 2020. I had to remember what year it was. So anyway, I want to take you through each of the 5 pieces that I'm working on. 2 of them I've done before, and 3 of them are completely brand new, which is a little bit scary, but I did so poorly on some of the other ones that, to me, to do them again would almost be harder than learning a new piece, because you just, it's so much easier to fall into old habits and stuff like that. So I wanted to start scratch when I really did a bad job. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, I'll share when I can find online recordings to share with you that aren't copyright. I'll share with you them so you can hear what I'm working on. I feel like it's a really well-rounded repertoire. I'm very excited about it. So let's get started. I was actually trying to remember when I did the exam in the first place. I was wondering if there was a date on it. Oh, so my certificate was issued on October 2015, which means I probably did the exam in the spring or summer of 2015. You guys, that's like a 5-year gap if I do it at the beginning of 2020. That's crazy. I can't believe that was the last test I wrote was 5 years ago. How does time go by so fast? Anyway, I just, time goes fast. Okay, it's hard when you have a kid too. That's an excuse. I'm going off on tangents. Okay, so the first piece that I want to share with you is, I'm going to just go in order from basically oldest to newest. So Bach is the oldest, he's Baroque era. And with the RCM, you have to do something from the well-tempered clavier in grade 9 or 10, otherwise you can't do ARCT. And by the way, if I didn't say that, I don't think I did. I didn't get a very good mark on my grade 10. Normally that wouldn't be a huge problem, other than just the personal shame of it all. But I actually can't do my ARCT diploma level test unless I get a better mark. I have to have a 70 or higher, and I passed with a 68. So I was really, really close. But yeah, I want to get an 80. I'm going to get an 80 this time. So yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe just going off. Maybe today is just a day for tangents. But I am doing, oh yes, because it's telling you about how you have to do something from the well-tempered clavier if you want to go on to do your diploma level in piano. So I had originally done, you can kind of see this is super marked up, the F minor, or was it F major? No, it was F major, the F major one. I can't remember which one that was. And yeah, I just did so bad on it that I didn't even want to look at it again. It wasn't worth it to me. So this time I am doing what Roman numerals are those? 13. The 13th Prelude and Fugue, which is in the very delicious key signature of F sharp major. There are 6 sharps. Part of the reason I wanted to do this one is it's not slow, but it's slower than some of these other ones. So, and you can see I've started doing the highlighting in my fugue. Fugues break my brain. It's going to take me so long to learn this. But yeah, that's where I'm starting with that. And then moving forward to the classical era, I have Beethoven. I thought about doing a Mozart sonata. I do like Mozart, but I like Beethoven better. And I did a Beethoven sonata the first time around. I did actually the very first one, Opus 2, number 1. So in this like big thick book of Beethoven sonatas, it's like literally the first one. I did the first and second movement. And again, I think the worst mark of my entire exam was this Beethoven sonata. So I wanted to not reapproach that. I've been taking lessons with a piano teacher again, regular weekly lessons. And she told me, she's played through a lot of the Beethoven sonatas, and she said that she thought that like the first set was among the harder ones technically. So we picked something that she thought would be just a little bit easier, which is the quite well known, I believe it's his 5th sonata, Opus 10, number 2, I believe. Let me just double check that. Opus 10, number 1, my bad. Yeah. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. If I can, I'll play it for you, because obviously you're not going to glean any musical value from that little ba-da-ba-da. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're spending a lot of time doing like all kinds of detail work with it. The kind of detail work that I absolutely did not do with my first sonata. So I want to make Beethoven proud this time around. So we're working really hard on that. Slam that one down. And then our list C is where we get into Romantic era stuff. Now, I usually do Chopin. The last time I did Liszt. But actually, Liszt's Liebestraum, since I did my original exam, they actually changed the difficulty level of it to ARCT. So that might be one I redo for my ARCT level. It's his 3rd Liebestraum. It's really beautiful. It's just like fiendishly difficult. So I'm kind of glad I'm not doing that one. But you might remember on this channel that I learned Tchaikovsky's November as kind of like a little practice experiment. So since I already learned that one, but I hadn't prepped it for an exam, I thought that would be a perfect one. And it just like a little bit different from like the standard romantic composers, doing like a later romantic guy like Tchaikovsky, like the Russian vibe. I don't know. It's just a cool piece. It's a little bit unexpected. Sometimes when we do these exams and we do like these really, really famous pieces like Chopin's Nocturne Opus 9 number 2, or, you know, just these pieces or like Clair de Lune. That's what I did with my original grade 10. I'm not doing Clair de Lune again. When we do these same pieces, the examiners hear them so many times, I feel like they must judge us more harshly on them too. And I feel like if I was an examiner, I would get a kick out of hearing something different. So completely unproven point of view there, but don't play like Fear Elise for your exam is generally what I tell my students. So I'm kind of taking my own advice there. All right, so my list D, as I just mentioned, I did do Clair de Lune the first time around. I'm not doing it again. I got an okay mark on it, but I don't know. I just didn't want to do something so typical. It seemed really typical. So I thought it would be fun to do a woman composer, Amy Beach, who was an American composer in the 1900s. She is awesome. I love her music. Sometimes with list D's and E's. So these are D and E would be like the more modern stuff. Some of it can get really, really wild and atonal, and I don't like it very much. To each their own. But she has a bar choral, Opus 28, number 1. That is quite beautiful and very different from anything I've ever done before. So I haven't even started this one, so hopefully it goes well. That's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Yeah, very excited to learn from a composer I've never learned from before. And then finally, this is one I've actually done before. For my list E, I'm doing a piece by a Canadian composer named Pierre Gallant, and I love him. He actually has music for beginner level students that I teach. He has a book called, off the top of my head, Imitations and Inventions, which is inventions for like beginner students. It's awesome. Yeah, I also like teaching Kunz's canons for the same reasons. But 6 variations on Land of the Silver Birch. Land of the Silver Birch is like a Canadian folk tune. It's in a minor key and it's beautiful. And I love theme and variations form because it feels like you're learning, well, in this case, it's like 7 different pieces, all with like their completely different character. And yeah, since I got a good mark on this one, it was like one of the only pieces I played that I got a good mark on. I figured I would do it again. Plus, my husband loves it, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna do the Silver Birch one, right?" So I was like, "Okay, I guess if you have to listen to me practice for hours and hours for the next several months, I guess I might as well play something you like the sound of." So that's my repertoire. So those are the 5 pieces that I am working on. I don't know why I said that so slow. I'm very excited about it. I've only been getting back into it for about the last 2 months is when I started at piano lessons again. And yeah, I want to like actually do a good job this time. I want to take it seriously. I think the last time I just got like, I was just in like the flow of exams. I had done about 5-6 exams in a row, and I just maybe got overconfident. I thought that like, I don't really need a teacher. I had like a couple lessons here and there, but not like anything regular. I was like, I got this. I can figure this out on my own. I did good with my grade 9, and I self-studied for my grade 9. I think my grade 9 I got like 80 something. So, but then it was quite the shock to get that 68 for my grade 10. So I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to take lessons. I want to do better than I've ever done with high level repertoire. I want to like really, like, I'm not a very good piano player, all things considered, and I want to just, I want to get better. I mean, why else would someone take piano lessons, right? Partly the accountability, but also to get better. So maybe in the coming months, I'll share some of my progress. And that's another accountability thing. When you have a YouTube channel and you talk about doing an exam in several months and then you don't own up to it and share what you've been working on, then it's kind of like you guys can all wag your finger at me. And the thought of that is enough to keep me moving forward. Actually, I'm like super motivated. In terms of how much I have to practice, this is the most difficult part because I have a busy life and I have a child, and it's not super easy to carve out time to practice piano. So right now I am approximating about 5 hours a week. In like peak preparation time, probably between September to January, I'm going to need to be doing like 2 or 3 hours a day. So we'll just kind of I'm just kind of easing into it at this point. So yeah, 1 hour a day is kind of like my starting point, and then we'll try to bump it up from there. One little piece at a time. That's pretty much all I had to say on it. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe if you guys are doing exams, we can all kind of like give each other mutual supports. Feel free to bug me on like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. And then maybe in the future, maybe in several months, once I start getting a little bit more prepared, I can share with you what I'm practicing, or maybe if I've learned anything that I find really, really useful with any of these pieces, I can share that with you guys. We could even do kind of like how we do those videos, you know those videos we do where we look at a piece of music and talk about it. We might even be able to do that with some of these, and I think that would be kind of fun. So anyway, all things for the future. I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Wish me luck. I'll probably need it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later. Hi, Jane. Hi. You coming to my piano studio? Yep, this is my piano studio.